Hello guys and welcome to our replay analysis about uh, AAP versus AAP. So this guy Soulboy as an AAP similar to Fruits AAP last season I think. So he has a hero hair dagger backliner, a pliers swift escape midliner. But if I remember correctly, sometimes Fruits places this guy at the backline. Why? Because it has swift escape. So it has more outplay potential than, let's say, this guy at the backliner, since this has no speed up. But the problem here is it kinda lacks a brick wall card. So it has no high armor card, and tail slap on a backliner is not that good. So he also has this guy, a turnip rocket uh, plant. So the thought here is he went for a turnip rocket because his backliner can speed up against birds. So he wants to kill birds early on so that it would be an easy game for this backliner. Since this backliner doesn't have a koi card, which is what we have here on our backliner AAP. So for my team, I have Plant Tank with Vegetal Bite, Wooden Stab, Scarab, and Spicy Surprise. So a better version of this would be a Sandal on the back of this uh, plant, since Sandal would give 110 damage and also 50 armor. But I was on a budget and I really thought that with the high amount of healing frontliners right now, those with Herbivore and even Zigzag, Scarab would be clutch in some situations. So I needed more damage early on, so I went with Dull Grip, also Angry Lamb on the mouth for some brick wall and Swift Escape. Then the typical tail slap on the midliner Aqua. And as you noticed, I went with a 52 speed one, but it's tankier since it has reptile eyes. So it's slightly tankier than the normal Aqua, as you can see here, with the 54 speed. But uh, it's, it's slightly slower. But the good thing here is that it's the same speed as our backliner, so we can get away with it. So for our backliner, I have a Consent Arco Upstream Swim Risky Fish backliner Aqua. So the downside of this is that it doesn't have a range move. So it's important to have a range move on your backliner, since there are things like Gravelance in the game, which corresponds to the Numbing Liquration card, which disables melee cards. So I can't use any of this if I face against one of those. But again, I want to outplay other Aquas in this bracket and also have a chance to win against those plants, since Risky Fish and Arco is really good damage, and also Arco can typically tank other Aquas in the 1v1, especially paired with Cleansent and Upstream Swim, so I can easily speed up against them, since most backliners right now, Aqua backliners, have Bidence or even Hero, or even if they have Cuckoo, the Horn card, which is 0 cost, they pair it with a Blue Moon to have a range card. So their maximum speed up every game would only be 2. That's 2 kois. So for me, I can go up to 4 or 3. So I have a speed lead against them. So for the first round, he has some very good cards with Dull Grip first, then Hero and Clam Slash on the backliner, and the Prickly on the tank. So I didn't use my Wooden Stab because I'm afraid of this Pliers midliner dishing more damage to me rather than I dish damage to this plant tank. And the good thing here is that his backliner is really weak against my backliner. So I'm confident that I can win the game by saving up cards of my 2 Aquas on the backline. So he dished out a huge amount of damage the first round, but he used 4 cards. So I was sure that he only had 2 cards in his hand. Then he used another 2 cards, so slightly low on card count rather than having lots of cards. So, as you can see here, I used one risky fish. Why? If we can see the number of cards my midliner has, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, it already has 4 cards and I had 5 energy. So I wanted to get an attack buff approaching the second round so I can uh, make sure that I can 4 card this guy next turn. Since he's gonna be low on HP, I get an attack buff on my backliner, and my midliner has the 4 cards ready to dish out damage to this guy, even if he brick walls me. But I was fairly sure that he had a low amount of cards, so he's probably gonna skip the next turn. So I used one cheeky risky fish just to get an attack buff and to slightly lower his HP. So there, as you can see, I can already 4 card, and I also use the goldfish, since if he's gonna hit my aqua, this 52 speed one, it's gonna outspeed this aqua, which would be good for me, since for the next turn, I also, if I get draws on this guy, I can easily hit this guy first, and brick wall with my midliner. So I used my backliner again with risky fish just to get another attack buff, not upstream swim since this is gonna be important later on, and I can dish out more damage later against this midliner with the attack buff. So I ensured the kill, and the good thing here for us is that he used a hero card on his backliner, so this gives us an a speed buff, since Swift Escape applies a speed plus to this Axie for 2 rounds when attacked. So the thought of here is that he used hero, since if you see here in his card pool, he has used a lot of cards during the first 2 rounds. So he wanted to card draw, since he needs like 3 or 4 cards for this midliner to brick wall against the attack I'm gonna dish out next turn. So he tried to use a hero just to draw some cards, since heroic reward, draws a card when attacking an aquatic or bird or dawn target. So this is also a highly underrated card that is really good, since it dishes out 60 damage for 0 energy. So we ensure the kill on the plant, and we save 5 energy. So this is gonna make us faster than this guy. So we had some good draws on our midliner, and we can save cards on our backliner. So we're gonna kill this with 5 cards to ensure the kill, like that. So as you noticed, I saved up 1 upstream swim, since this is gonna dish out more damage to this guy than if I save up the Arco, and I don't need to apply the speed buff, since this guy will always be slower than me, since he has 50 HP and has no speed up cards. So I could have just used 1 upstream swim here and 1 cleanse scent, but the downside to that is that if he puts up right amount of armor, it's gonna be bad for us, and we don't get the speed lead against this guy, so it's gonna hit us first. So I used upstream swimming just to ensure the kill, and I'm fairly certain that I can 1v1 this guy. So he kills my mid aqua. Now we're left with I have 2 energy and he has 3 energy, right? So I know he was low on energy, and I was pretty sure he's gonna save cards. So by saving up cards, and just using the minimal amount of cards this turn, I was fairly certain that I can just use 2 cleanses, 2 Bidens, just to brick wall some damage, and And my 4 cards for next turn was already ready here in my card pool. So I can just use the double cleanse scent. So that makes us both have 2 energy each next turn. So he has 4 energy. I also have 4 energy. So uh, in this turn, I could have used 4 of my Aqua cards, but that's not a good thing. Why? Uh, his Aqua has Clam Slash, which is 40 armor. This high armor card, in contrast to Orenda, or let's say Soulstar, uh, this makes me this makes me unable to 4-card his Aqua with 4 Aqua moves, especially with these cards 110 damage. Not like Orenda and Blue Moon, which is 120 damage. So if I went with Risky Fish, Upstream Swim, Risky Fish, and another Upstream Swim, it wouldn't be enough damage, and he can kill me since my HP is only 343, and this is not high enough armor. So what I did here is, since my highest armor cards were the Arcos, which gives us 50 armor, and Bidens, which is also 50 armor, I didn't use all of my attack cards. I used 2 Arcos, 1 Bidens, and also an Upstream Swim. So this is the highest chance I'm gonna win, since this guy doesn't have a speed up card. So next turn, I was fairly sure that I could 3-card this guy. So I went up with high armor cards and ensure the kill next turn. So even if he had all Aqua cards here, I would have lived. And if I used 4 Aqua cards, I would have died. So this was the right play to make this turn. So it leaves us with a sliver of health, 32. But this would be enough to 3-card this Aqua and win the game. So there you have it. My AEP build and how I play with it. So we're at 62 right now.